Okay, folks, here we are. All right, new setup. I hope this works with my headset on better than it worked with my um, phone. Anyway, here we are. It's a little dark, but it's all right. Welcome to Facebook Live with Monica Corrado. That's me. Ask the Gap Chef. I am a certified GAPS practitioner. I am, what else? A holistic nutritionist. I'm a teaching chef, and I also am the GAPS chef. So my work, my desire in these, during these little Facebook Lives that I offer almost every week, as much as I can, is to accurately tell you, answer questions according to Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride's work, the GAPS book, the yellow book, the blue book, etc., etc. So I am not a medical doctor. I do not answer medical questions or give medical advice. I do work with food and hope to help you to implement the GAPS diet with ease. So please, if you're going to put questions on the group, I don't look at medical tests. I don't work with medical tests. So I'm just going to dismiss the comment, ask it on another forum. All right. Hello. Faria is here. Hooray. Joanna is here. Hooray. Great to see you, Joanna. Hope you're well. Hope you're all well. So today, how is the volume? Can someone give me like a thumbs up? Hi, Natasha. Good to see you also. Hello, Kathleen. Hello, everyone. Good to have you with me. Okay. Is someone give me a thumbs up if you're hearing, if the sound is good? Much better volume. Good. Yeah, well, I'm using a headset, so that'll be good. So you can't hear my air conditioning go. Okay. Excellent. Hello, Sumeya. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Abida. Oh, good. Excellent. Volume is good. Yay, volume is good. Now if we can just get me outside of a black background, right? That'll be next week. Okay. So, I will take your questions later on. Right now, what I'd like to talk about is the intro diet. We're going to talk about intro today. We're going to talk a little bit about stage 1 and stage 2. Why am I talking about the intro diet? Hello! Hello, Yanela. Good to see you. All right, we're going to talk about stage 1 and stage 2 because there seems to be a lot of confusion about intro, certainly confusion about the length of time to stay on each stage. And so I thought it would be helpful to clear it up right here and right now. So let's get started. So as all of you know, there are 3 parts to the GAPS diet. The first part is there's part 1, which is introduction. It's called that because it used to be where we started. Right now, we don't have to start there anymore. Now we could start on full GAPS if we want to, depending on what's going on with you. And I'll talk about that in a moment. So there is intro, which has 6 stages. You all have the ability to download for free this chart, which is what I call the intro diet chart. It has 2 sides and everything you need. It's up under featured posts. Please do check that every once in a while because I try to put things there that will be helpful to you. And we'll answer your questions. So, intro has 6 stages. Then there's the full GAPS diet, and then which is where most people stay for the majority of time on GAPS. And then there's transition GAPS. It's transitioning off the GAPS diet. And we don't spend a lot of time talking about that because most people want to know how to do this thing as opposed to how to get off this thing. And in any case, all of that is written up pretty clearly in the yellow book, in the blue book, and in my book. So, the complete cooking techniques for the GAPS diet. All right, so intro. So, the introduction diet used to be where you started GAPS. Everyone started on intro. That's why it's called intro, introduction. However, as GAPS was practiced by certified GAPS practitioners, by Dr. Natasha herself, we found it was not everyone should start on intro. And so, who should not start the GAPS diet on intro? Number one, anyone who's prone to constipation. If you are prone to constipation, or your child is, or you have constipation, do not start on the intro diet. I'm going to say it again. Do not start on the intro diet. Start on the full GAPS diet. So, the following people should not start on intro. Number one, you're prone to constipation. Number two, you don't know how to cook yet. Meaning, you don't know how to cook GAPS style yet. It would be a very bad idea to start yourself on intro if you don't know how to make meat stock, if you aren't clear about how to make ferments, if you don't know how to make all the cultured dairy, the yogurt, the kefir, right? All those things. Bad idea to start on intro if you are just becoming familiar with the GAPS cooking techniques. Who else should not start on intro? How about someone who doesn't have time to cook? Or someone who is traveling a lot? If you're traveling a lot, how are you going to be on intro? You cannot. So, let's see what else. So, people who are prone to constipation, people who don't know the GAPS cooking techniques yet and are very clear about them and can do them with ease, people who haven't sourced their food yet should not start on intro. How could you do the intro diet if you don't know where to get clean meat, clean fat, etc.? Yeah? And also those that are traveling, etc. So that's pretty much it. Everyone else should start on intro. And there are 6 intro diet stages, as I said. Now, let's talk about full for one moment. And then I'll go into full a lot more in another live. So the full GAPS diet used to be where you graduated to. Hi, Roseanne. She just threw this in. Hello, Hussein. What about people that don't have easy days, meaning busy schedule and can't rest? Yeah. Don't start on intro until you can. That was really good. You know, you must have been reading my mind, Roseanne, because I was thinking about that. I was thinking about what about, especially when you want to do intro with children, also to have some time, you know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of time where you can actually, with children at least, have them out of school and be able to work with them in a way that if they have die off, they can rest. Same thing with adults. If you don't have easy days, you probably do not want to be doing intro if you cannot get the rest that you need, if you cannot allow your body to, allow yourself to ride out, right? To ride out die off. Very good, Roseanne. You get another little star for you. Fabulous. Okay, so let's go back to full. So, full GAPS diet used to be that you would graduate. Everyone did intro. Everyone did all 6 stages of intro. Everybody graduated from intro into the full GAPS diet. And full GAPS is a full diet, meaning there's a lot of stuff on full GAPS you can eat, folks. There is, there's fruit, and there's vegetables, and there's nuts, and there's seeds, and you cook them any way you want, and la 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 la. Full is pretty darn loose to me. And so sometimes we suggest, meaning practitioners, certified GAPS practitioners who I help to train. through GAPS training, Dr. Natasha's company. Um, some people who start on some people who I suggest to start on the full GAPS diet, I personally will do what's called a modified full GAPS, meaning I take out the nuts, I take out the seeds, I take out the fruit for sure. And then I proceed with the full GAPS diet with these people. All right. So, let's talk about intro. Let me make a comment to Eva, who just said, "My husband will probably never have time for an intro because he works so much." So let me just make one comment, and then I'm going to go on to stage 1 and 2. Here's the comment. Let us all remember that the human body is incredibly resilient. It wants to come to balance. It wants to be well. It wants to thrive. And so I have found over the years, decades now, that I work with people and teach them how to cook real food, why it's important, etc., GAPS, etc. I have found that over the decades that any change is going to help. So let's all remember that just recently Dr. Natasha said a little GAPS is better than no GAPS. In our world of toxins and our world of emotional toxins, environmental toxins, there's toxin in the water, there are toxins in the foods, there are toxins in the television, there are toxins everywhere you look. There are processed foods, here we go, right? Anything we do, anything will be helpful. Your body will respond. So take heart, everyone. Even if you just do the things that I have pointed out in my Facebook Live that we did together a while back, I call it the 4 pillars, like what is GAPS and GAPS basics, what to do. Do something, anything will be better than doing nothing. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going to go into intro stage 1. So intro stage 1. Intro stage 1 is meant to be 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days, people. I am very concerned that there are so many people that are saying they're staying on intro diet stage 1 for, 6 months, 1 year. This is not what Dr. Natasha suggests. If you are working with a certified GAPS practitioner and you have very, very, what can I say, chronic health conditions, your certified GAPS practitioner this would be someone who's been doing GAPS for a long time, may work with you to help you stay on stage 1 without developing nutritional deficiencies for longer than 3 to 5 days. But for the general public, for most people who start on GAPS, you are going to be staying on intro stage 1 for a few days only. The nutrient-dense stage, let me say it differently. The stage that Dr. Natasha has identified as nutritionally complete, that is somewhere that you could park. I call it parking. We're going to park on stage 2. We're going to stay on stage 2 for a long time. Stage 2 is where you can park, where you can stall. I don't like that. Parking feels better than stalling. Where you can park, you can stay on stage 2 for a very long time. In fact, in the Blue Book, Dr. Natasha talks about how some people stay on stage 2 for years, for the whole life. And who would stay on stage 2 for their whole life? People that have severe mental health issues. These would be schizophrenic, bipolar, manic depressive, things like that. People who are very mentally ill, God bless them, and they would just work much better. They would live much better. They would thrive on stage 2. Now, if you want to hear more about extended, that's in quotes, not bunny ears, extended stage 2, go ahead and look at the Facebook Live that I did with you in this group. It's on my YouTube page, and it's called Extended Stage 2. I go through all of Extended Stage 2. What does it mean? What can you eat? How long can you stay? La 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 is all very, very much disclosed in that. So, or explained is a better word. Explained. Extended Stage 2 is explained very, very clearly on that video. So, because Extended Stage 2 is more than just Stage 2, it has other things added to it, if you will. If you wind up extending on Stage 2 for a long time, like 6 months or a year or something like that. All right, so I'm going to take a deep breath. I suggest you do too. Okay. Oh, look, I turned to color. Okay, so Stage 1, one more time with feeling. 3 to 5 days. Stage 1 is meat stock, meat stock, meat stock. Did I say meat stock? I did. It's meat stock. That meat stock can be made of chicken, any poultry, any bird. It can be made of any mammal, right? So it can be from wherever you are. We have many international people at this point doing gaps. So you can have sheep, goat, donkey, whatever mammal you eat in your part of the world. Of course, lamb, beef, pork, you name it. So meat stock is made of poultry or mammals, meaty bones. Can also be fish stock. The basic recipe for meat stock is meaty bones plus pure water to cover plus a handful of peppercorns and some salt. That's it. Period. End of story. Can you put vegetables in meat stock? Yes. Do I suggest you do? Yes. If you have chronic diarrhea or watery diarrhea or any kind of diarrhea, don't put any vegetables in, or you can, but don't eat them, right? We know that plant matter equals cleansing. Plant matter, plants, vegetables can cause more diarrhea if you already have it. So that's a nuance for Stage 1. All right, so Stage 1 is homemade meat stock, poultry stock, fish stock. Please do not make meat stock with a steak and a bone. Okay? We need joints. We need cartilage. We need skin. So meat stock is not made with a London broil and a bone, a knuckle bone. I'm going to cough again. Clearing voice. Okay. So you make your stock. You can make blended soup from that stock. And you can have the teas. Remember, I also did a video on the 3 teas, which are ginger, mint, and chamomile. What they are, how they work, why everyone should be drinking them. Tra-la, tra-la. That's sitting on YouTube also. It's the 3 teas. So those things are all in Stage 1. With every cup of meat stock, we are to be adding probiotic liquid, whether that is whey that you drip from yogurt, or whether it is sauerkraut juice that you get from sauerkraut, or whether you get it from cabbage tonic, right? We're adding things in. So every cup has good salt, probiotic liquid, yeah, and garlic. Yeah, we put the garlic in the meat stock right before it's done. All right, so that is Stage 1, and you are doing that for 3 to 5 days. If you are fine on dairy and you have been doing raw, homemade dairy, cultured dairy, you've been doing it before you got on intro, you are welcome to keep having that on intro Stage 1, no problem. If you have a dairy issue, meaning a sensitivity or an allergy, you will follow the dairy introduction protocol. I call it the DIP. Dr. Natasha calls it the DIS, dairy introduction structure. It's all written down for you about how to bring dairy in very slowly. If you have no problems with dairy going into GAPS, you do not have to follow the dairy introduction structure, and you can have your yogurt and your kefir and your creme fraiche and everything else from stage 1, no problem. Nicole Misha, hello, asks, duck and quail? Yes, duck and quail for sure. Whatever, birds you eat. Okay. Abita wants to know, when is your meat stock masterclass coming? This week. So exciting. You know, the difficulty with, I'll say it this way. I'm currently teaching for Dr. Natasha. I'm teaching the coach, meaning I've been teaching with her for a while, but we have a class going on right now, so we have a lot going on with that. The coaches, certified GAPS coaches. So that's going on. Lots of teaching there, lots of grading homework there. I've got this, I've got my client load, etc. So fitting in time to finish that masterclass is like, when? You know, I have to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep just like the rest of you. So soon, this week. Yeah, Eva, I have no idea. I don't actually suggest that you cook from frozen. It's nearly over, though. What's nearly over? Vori? Oh, class! It's Vori. Yes, it's nearly over, but you can always come visit me here on Tuesdays, and you can always come to my website, simplybeingwell.com, and I will see on the GAPS Graduate Forum, because you will graduate and be a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous coach. All right. So Eva wants to know about frozen meat. I don't actually work with frozen meat. You can work with frozen meat. How much time do you add? You would need to add the amount of time it takes to get the frozen meat to temperature, right? And then start calculating your 1.5 hours for poultry, 1.5 to 3, or 4 to 6 for everything else. All right. Oh, I'm so glad, Abita, you're phone. Oh, I'm so glad you're going to do it. Okay. All right, let's move on. So one more time with feeling. We're talking about intro diet. We're talking about stage 1. Stage 1, 3 to 5 days. Stage 1, why that little bit of time? Because in stage 1, you can have a lot of die-off, and you will. So it's a really good idea that you plan to make sure that you have some time to take care of yourself, to take a nap, to rest, everything else. You want to take a nice rest. You want to build in time. You do not want to start intro stage 1 on Monday morning when you work Monday to Friday, a 60-hour week. That's cuckoo, crazy. Yeah? So maybe you start intro stage 1 on Friday evening. So you have Saturday and Sunday, and maybe you'll take Monday and Tuesday off. So definitely plan in time for die-off intro stage 1. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter how clean, again, I'm not God here, but it doesn't matter how clean you've been eating. Once you take out all the carbs and all the garbage, pardon me, I guess if you've been eating clean, you don't have garbage, but certainly all the carbohydrates, you take them out. You radically reduce them. And you start adding in the probiotic foods, you will have die-off. So if you want to learn more about die-off, I have another little thing about die-off there that you can watch on YouTube. Ask the GAPS Chef. Okay, so stage 1. Alrighty, so when do you move to stage 2? When all the foods are tolerated, meaning you're doing fine with meat stock and you're not having a bunch of die-off drinking it. You should not be hungry on stage 1, everybody. You need to be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Meat stock, meat stock, meat stock. You're eating the meat. You're drinking the stock. You're eating the cartilage. You're eating the vegetables if you made them. You're eating all the fat in that meat stock. You are having lots of good salt. You are having good probiotic foods like whey or sauerkraut juice or cabbage tonic. Okay, if anyone wants the cabbage tonic recipe, it's in the second edition of my book. It's also in featured posts. I have it up there for you to take a look at cabbage tonic as opposed to making sauerkraut. All right, so we move to stage 2. So stage 2, big deal, stage 2. Stage 2 has certain foods that we add in. The first food that we add in stage 2, start differently. Every stage takes all the foods from the prior stage and brings them forward. So if you're in stage 1 and you go to stage 2, everything you ate in stage 1, you're going to continue eating in stage 2. All right, so what's stage 2? Meat stock, meat stock, meat stock, all the meat, all the vegetables if you're eating them, right? The fat, the salt, I just said all those things. And stews and casseroles. A lot of people are not doing stews and casseroles on stage 2. And then they tell me, I'm so sick of soup. And I go, why are you having so much soup? I don't know. I'm on stage 2. I say, stage 2, add stews and casseroles. Learn how to do it. It's in my class because it's certainly in the book, but apparently we need more ideas about stews and casseroles. So we add stews and casseroles, and then the next food that is added are egg yolks. Egg yolks. The yolk of the egg. Now, if you have a concern about a sensitivity to eggs, then we use the skin sensitivity test. No problem. We all know how to do it. It is right there in the yellow book. It is right there in the blue book. It is right there in my book. Skin sensitivity test right here. Yeah? So, if there's a problem, let's say you do the skin sensitivity test and you start with a clean chicken egg, meaning that chicken is out on pasture. If you can't find a chicken on pasture from a farmer or from your backyard, then you're going to, hold on, Nicole, then you're going to, I'll answer you in a second. If you can't find a chicken on pasture that's eating bugs, yeah, like they're supposed to, then you need to find organic chicken eggs. And no soy, no corn in the feed. Very difficult to do. Do your best. Certainly, there are eggs out there now that are not being, chickens are not being fed soy, which is great. Now, what happens if you do the skin sensitivity test and with some yolk and it turns red? Dr. Natasha calls it an angry red spot. That's a direct quote. It turns red overnight. What do? You do not proceed. You wait. Wait 2 weeks before you try it again. Another skin sensitivity test. So 2 weeks later you do it, another angry red spot. What do? Stop. Do not proceed. Wait 2 weeks at least. And then perhaps try a different species. Very, very important, folks. If chickens don't work, chicken eggs don't work, we move to duck. If duck eggs don't work, we move to turkey, quail, anything else you can find. Really important to not just say, oh, my child or I can't do chicken eggs, therefore I'm never going to do eggs in my life. Nope. Means you try and switch species. Often, very often, people who do not tolerate chicken eggs, even clean ones, do great, fabulous on duck. So, we always start with the yolk. Nicole, I hope you have read the yellow book and the blue book because Dr. Natasha goes very clearly into why. Please read the books, people. I am here to answer your questions, but I know some of you are tired and sick and this and that, but do your research and then, right? Then we ask. I ask my students to do the same thing. They don't like me very much, but I think they do like me. Anyway, but we never hand anything out on a silver platter. You have to figure this out, everybody. So why yolks? Why not whites? Because whites are usually the problem. If people are going to have an issue with eggs, usually, in general, It will be with the whites because the whites are where the protein is. That's why we always start with egg yolks first. And then in stage 2, after you have gotten to tolerating, I don't know, 6 eggs a day, egg yolks, adults 6 egg yolks, then you can start putting in the egg white. Do a sensitivity test if you need to. If you don't need to, you're like, yeah, I'm good on eggs, and you start on your yolks. You're having one yolk in one bowl, and one yolk in another bowl, another yolk in another bowl, etc., etc. Then you can go ahead and start adding in the whole egg. If you think you have an issue with eggs, meaning you're sensitive to them, then you will do a skin sensitivity test with just the white before you proceed. Some people, it takes a very long time to get the whites in. No problem. Keep healing and sealing. Keep drinking that meat stock. Keep increasing your probiotic foods. Keep increasing your fats. Whenever we have a problem with the skin sensitivity test, stop. Wait 2 weeks, then try again. Okay. Got it? I hope Nicole's good with that. All right, so in terms of adults, we do about 6 yolks a day before we start bringing in the whites. Right? And we're adding them to the soup, we're adding them to the stews, we're adding them to the casseroles, we're adding them to the stock. We add them when it's not boiling hot, or we will kill everything in that egg, right? We really want the yolks to be raw and runny, no problem. So what's next in stage 2? Oh, let me finish. Adults, about 6 per day before we start the whites. Children, about 3 yolks per day before we start the whites. And then we move on. We're also adding in fermented fish. A lot of people skip this step. I just found that out in my coach class. People are skipping making fermented fish. This is a big piece of stage 2. It's right there. Stage 2, right there. Introduce fermented fish. Why? Brain. Remember, brain function. Lots of good recipes, especially in the Blue Book, how to make fermented fish. Okay, I have it in my book, 2nd edition. All right, and then the third thing we do on stage 2 is we start introducing ghee. Even if we're not introducing any other dairy, we try to introduce ghee. Why? Because ghee is pure butter fat. If people have issues with dairy, again, in general, the vast majority of people that have issues with dairy have issues with the protein, casein, or the lactose, right? And ghee has neither of those. It's just pure fat. All right, so I am hoping that that is great. All right, if anyone, again, if you have no problems with dairy, stage 2, you're having as much yogurt as you want, as much kefir as you want, as much kefir cream as you want, as much cultured cream as you want. Dairy. If you have sensitivity to dairy, then you're going to do the dairy introduction structure, and you will follow that. It runs along the same track as the intro diet. It's a different sequence. It's usually 6 weeks in between each thing that we're adding, so it takes or longer. Can take a very long time to do the dairy introduction structure. Okay, I think that's everything. How do you know you can move to stage 3? You can move to stage 3 as far as I'm concerned once you can tolerate, adults can tolerate 6 eggs a day. Tolerate meaning no symptoms, no die-off, no problem, no diarrhea, etc., etc. Children at 3 eggs a day, whole eggs. In the meantime, Nicole, what do we do with all of the whites? Well, for people who are not on GAPS, you add them to their scrambled eggs in the morning. You add them to their frittatas. You add them to their omelets. You freeze them for use later on. You give them to your animals. Yeah. You can make meringues for your coconut meringues for your family. Make them for later. Yeah. All right. What do we got? So that's what I've got. Stage 2, usually people are hanging out at least, I don't know. I think most people should take at least a month on stage 2 because it takes that long. pardon me. It takes that long for you to be able to get all those eggs in and, keep increasing your fermented juice, your ferment juice, and, feel good. Like stage 2. Once you get to 6 eggs a day, it's probably going to take you a month. Maybe less. Maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks. But do not rush stage 2. Lot of healing in stage 2. Listen to your body in every stage. Stage by stage. If you're really listening to your body, you're not going to rush through stage 2. I know there are cookbooks out there that tell you, like you're on each stage a couple of days, and they are not correct in my experience. The longer you take on a stage, the more healing you've got. All right, let's see what we've got for questions. I hope that is helpful to people. I hope it is helpful. Hello, everyone. Hello. Great. Yes. Hey, Elin, good to have you. Just saying hello to people I haven't seen. Yes. Good. Eva, excellent. We are so resilient. The body is resilient. All she wants is, don't poison me. Give me fresh water and give me good food. Let's make a bumper sticker. What do you need for health? Don't poison me. Give me real food. Ta-da! Okay. And make sure some of that food is probiotic food, right, people? Okay. All right, Faria. Hello, Faria. Who else is here that I didn't say hello to yet? La 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 la. Abida, I said hello. Vori, I said hello. Rosa Maria, how are you? Okay. I'm trying to find out where we are. Where. Okay. Can you please advise? I have a 6-year-old son, and I suspect has pandas. Before GAP supplements like curcumin with whatever that is, and ashwagandha worked for him with most of his symptoms. Since last year, we've been on stage 2, then 3, now back to 2. Again, the issue is if he gets ill, he starts to regress and have some old symptoms back. Remember, folks, illness is the body detoxifying. Support the detoxification of the body whenever our children or ourselves are ill. Illness is the body's desire to detoxify. One more time with feeling. Support the body. Epsom salt baths, other detox baths. Allow the body to have a fever, etc., right? So, okay. The issue I have is he picks up something. He picks up something. Made him have diarrhea and vomiting for 9 days, and 4 of them was just watery diarrhea. Oh, okay. Watery diarrhea, folks, is not to be messed with. Make sure that the child or you or whoever has it is having enough, electrolytes. Stock with salt or water with lemon and salt. Really important. Coconut water is great. Certainly fermented coconut water, but coconut water, good in electrolytes. Okay. Also, how do we get diarrhea to stop? Whey. W-H-E-Y. Whey. W-H-E-Y. One more time. Whey. Drink it all day. I should start a t-shirt company. What do you think? Is anybody laughing about that? I am. Okay. Whey all day when you have diarrhea. And yogurt. Yogurt, right? Yeah. Whey is the best. If you are doing great, if your child is doing great with ashwagandha, get back on ashwagandha. No problem. As long as it doesn't have any CRAP in it, right? Make sure it's clean. I want to know how GAPS can... he's better now, but started to show some regression. So we have to remember, folks, sometimes regression is just another layer coming up to be healed. Sometimes when we go backwards, we don't have to think about that as, I'm going backwards. I'm having a setback. This is bad. GAPS isn't working. That's all bunk. Sometimes it's just that there's another layer coming up to heal. The body's ready to heal. Please read that part. Where did she put it? Oh, Blue Book chapter on healing. The first paragraph is all about the fact that healing It's just a beautiful paragraph. Healing is like an onion. It's like peeling an onion. And sometimes it's going to show up like, wait, this is bugging me now. Nope, wrong way. That's better. Oop. Why didn't you tell me my shirt wasn't straight, you guys? I'm kidding. Not your job. Okay. Um, Healing is like peeling an onion, everyone. So sometimes it looks like it's a setback when really it's more healing that's happening. So what do? Back up to stage 2. Hang out there for a while. Meat stock, meat stock, meat stock. Good salt, good fats. Yeah, good probiotics, etc. Yep. And if you're having diarrhea, especially watery diarrhea, whey is your friend. Drink it all day. All right. Okay, what do we got here? Are cell salts gaps legal? Yes. Hello, Dill. I didn't say hello. Are cell salts gaps legal? Yes. Cell salts are gaps legal. They are homeopathics, so they are definitely GAPS legal. Sometimes they can make them without lactose in them. So homeopathy is definitely GAPS legal. Cell salts you should be able to use with GAPS, definitely. All right, let's see. Hi, my son has celiac disease. GAPS, that's what I recommend. Your son has celiac. Dr. Natasha calls celiac just another autoimmune issue. That's probably fairly, I don't know, pretty strong to say it that way, but just meaning treat it the same way you treat everything else. Do the GAPS diet. It will help. It will help. It will help. It will help. That's my best thing for you, Sumaya. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, Rosa Maria. If my daughter has die-off since we are weaning meds, she reacts to some but not all foods, especially ferments and dairy. Yes, people will react to everyone. All right, most people. All right, generalizing, the vast majority of people will react to ferments and dairy because why? They have probiotics in them. When we add them to the diet, when we increase them, we can have die-off, we can have headaches, we can have our symptoms come back, we can have flu-like symptoms, we can have exhaustion, migraines, you name it, rashes, right? So people are reacting to dairy and ferments because we're adding in probiotics in the dairy and the ferments. That is normal. Your job is to make sure that the die-off isn't too strong. Okay. Also could be reacting with a histamine response. That's fine as long as the histamine response is not so, I'll say it differently. As long as the histamine response is not intolerable. What does that mean? It means that they can't tolerate whatever's happening from the histamine response. If the histamine response is, oh, I'm sneezing. Oh, my child has a runny nose. Oh, there's a little red over here. Push through, folks. I mean, do what you want. You are the parent, and I am not a medical doctor, but if the response is no big whooparoony, meaning, as I said, oh, they have a little bit of a runny nose. Oh, they get a little congested in their ears. Oh, their eyes run. Oh, they get a rash. You know, that is not a histamine response that's so intolerable, like my child breaks out all over their body in a rash that's so itchy that they're scratching and bleeding. That is something I would not push through. But the rest of it, pushing through. Okay. We've been on different stages of intro for almost a year. Could we continue on the stages by just keep adding ferments and such? Keep adding ferments, yes. I have to say, though, if you're weaning meds, Rosa Maria, I would do two things. This is just me. I'm just suggesting. Increase the amount of organ meat going in, especially liver. Increase the detoxification program, meaning the detox supports. More Epsom salt baths. I mean, more detox baths, if you will, because there's more than Epsom salt. More detox baths, more oil pulling with coconut oil or or olive oil in the mouth, more grounding outside with bare feet, more sunshine, not to burn, but more time outside, that kind of thing. Yes. Okay. Let's see. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to look and see what is going on here. All right, you're welcome. Asks. Wait, I'm going back up to see who I missed. Anybody? Please touch on how to make fish stock. Faria, hey. So Dr. Natasha goes pretty clearly into fish stock in the blue book. How to make fish stock. Usually you're going to want to make fish stock with the whole fish, and usually you're going to make fish stock, certainly you want the head, you want the tail, you want the meat, you want the whole darn thing, right? And you want to be using a fish that is like an oily fish, a snapper, a salmon. You can make fish stock with mackerel, herring, sardines. You can certainly make fish stock with just the head if you get lots of heads. So what do? Again, this is all in I do have this recipe in my book. Let me find it for you. La la la, fish stock. Love the handy index in the back. Ba ba ba. So funny. All right, I'm looking. Un momento, por favore. Fish stock. Page 48. Page 48 in this book, right? Here we go. Page 48, I'm going there. Trying to keep you occupied by my singing and humming. I don't know if it's working. All right, so at least not, so it's right in my chart. There's a big, huge chart here. How to make them. I hope you can see that. Here we go. At least, as I was saying, a whole fish is best, but at least 9 ounces up to 3 pounds with the bones, fins, skins, and head. Yeah? Vegetables or not, cover with water by 1 inch to 2 inches, as we always do for meat stock. A little good salt. Bring it to a boil. Skim the scum. These are all we always do this with all meat stock. Bring it to a boil. Skim and discard the scum. Put it down to a simmer. Cook for an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. So fish stock is very, very easy. Make sure you get clean fish. Obviously, fresh fish is best. I hope that's helpful. Faria. Okay. Abida asks, if well-tolerated dairy before starting intro, then ghee can be introduced from stage 1 already? You should introduce stage 1. You can have yogurt, kefir, all those things. Yeah, you can put it anywhere you want. Stage 1. Remember, we're talking about homemade raw dairy, right? Cultured dairy. If this was commercial dairy before you started stage 1, then Dr. Natasha suggests a 6-week fast, no dairy, and so you can clear out all the chemicals and toxins from commercial dairy before you start again, if that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. All right, we got that. Nicole wants to talk about hydration. Give me more and we'll talk about hydration. I'm not really sure. If you want to talk about structured water, maybe that's what you want to know. I don't know. Okay, let's see what we've got down here. Hold on a minute. Hey, Isabel is here. Hi, Isabel. Hey, Selena is here. Hello. Hey, Faria Mohammed is here. Hello. Okay, let's go. All right, quick question from Here we go. If you do not drink a few days meat stock from time to time in intro, would this be an issue? Yes. Intro diet means meat stock every day. Intro diet means meat stock every day. Stage 1 is all meat stock. Stage 2 is still lots of meat stock. You're having meat stock every single stage. Adults, 3 to 4 cups a day is really the healing thing. The healing number we've found as practitioners. But do whatever you can. Everyday meat stock. Everyone, everyday meat stock on intro. And on full. Full gaps doesn't mean you don't have meat stock, folks. You're supposed to have at least 1 to 2 cups a day and you're on the full gaps diet. Meat stock, meat stock, meat stock. I love meat stock. You know I do. All right, moving on. All right, what do we got? We've got, my daughter developed OCD while on GAPS. What do you think it causes it? I think that brain function disorders, which is what OCD is and everything else, SPD, OCD, ADD, ADHD, ASD, blah, blah, blah. It's just another brain function disorder. I'm not trying to belittle it. I'm just saying it's another brain function disorder. So what do? You heal and seal the gut. And you do a strong detoxification protocol. And you add lots of brain food, which is fats, 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 fats. I'm not talking about only avocados. Fats, tallow, lard, duck fat, chicken fat. What do you got? Lots of fat. I just would continue, work the diet, work the diet, work the diet. If you have a child that's got OCD, SPD, ASD, ADHD, I don't know, I'd be hanging out on 2 for a long time. That's me. I suggest staying on stage 2 for at least 2, 3, 4, 6 months and then move. That's my opinion. All right. All right, let's see. Hello Selena, my child is on full GAPS diet. He's on the spectrum. No major digestive issues other than undigested food in the stool most of the time. Ah, that's a digestive issue, folks. Sorry for my drama. So undigested food is a digestive issue. It means that he's not getting the nutrients from the food if there is undigested food in the stool. Please go and look at the section in the Blue Book on digestive enzymes. Dr. Natasha talks about stomach acid. Really important for you to get that stomach acid up for your little person, your little child. Yeah. And how could you do that? How do we get stomach acid up? We add either sauerkraut juice prior to the meal. We add sauerkraut before the meal. Cabbage is specific for getting digestive juices up. If your child is eating raw vegetables, a raw cabbage salad is great. Although they are not digesting well, so maybe that's not the best. I would stick with sauerkraut or sauerkraut juice. Bitters before a meal is great for children. Digestive bitters. A little apple cider vinegar and water. Great, we have to get the stomach acid up. I am not suggesting that your child go on hydrochloric acid at this time, but I would absolutely start bitters, etc. And yes, everyone should be on a digestive enzyme when they first start GAPS. That's according to DNCM. Okay, hope that's helpful. All right, here we go. La 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 la. We've got, oh my God, we only have 2 minutes left. I better get moving, you guys and gals. Let's see. We've got Isabel. My friend has developed fatty liver and skyrocketed cholesterol levels after being on intro for almost 2 years to cure lichen sclerosis. God bless us. I understand you can't give specific advice without knowing more about her, but what should she focus on? Yeah, so quick thing, folks. Cholesterol, high cholesterol. Cholesterol is good. High cholesterol means your body is healing. I know that makes people frightened. But Isabel and everyone else, go back and read the Red Book, which is here. The Red Book. Put your heart in your mouth for more information on specific information on cholesterol. We remember that when cholesterol levels skyrocket, cholesterol is the flag on the play, meaning cholesterol, or in other words, cholesterol is the fire alarm. Cholesterol is the smoke, not the fire. That's probably easier. Cholesterol is the smoke. What does smoke do? It tells you, fire. High cholesterol tells you, inflammation. So when you have really high levels of cholesterol, you have very high levels of inflammation. It is pointing to high levels of inflammation in the body. So what do? Get the inflammation down. Why is there inflammation? Leaky gut. Why else is there inflammation? lots of toxins coming in, lots of pathogens in the body, etc. So, cholesterol, I know the whole Western world is telling you all that cholesterol means you're all going to die of a heart attack or stroke. Sorry. But what it's really doing is pointing to the fact that the person has inflammation and we need to work on getting that down. The GAPS diet is the best way to do that. All right, so in terms of fatty liver, what would I do? Remember, fatty liver is caused by too many carbs. Fatty liver, they call it non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Fatty liver is caused by too much sugar in the diet, by too many carbs in the diet. That's where it comes from. So I would look at how much sugar is in this person's diet, number one, and number two, I would support the liver. Whenever we have an issue with the liver, we support the liver. I did a couple of classes on supporting the liver. You can find them on the YouTube. They're pretty clear. Lots of good things for liver support if you're interested in looking there. I hope that's helpful, Isabel. All right. Look at that. My son's OCD goes away with kefir. Kefir. I love it. All right. All right. I got just a couple more to go here. You're welcome. La la la. For someone coming off depression and heart meds and who also possibly has colitis, would you recommend a supplemental probiotic along with food probiotics? If someone has colitis, I would do no plant GAPS for at least 6 months. Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. Someone has colitis. I would look, Kathleen, I would look at the blue book at no plant, and I would look at that, and I would, someone coming off depression and heart meds. The other thing is, again, Dr. Natasha is very clear about this. One med at a time, very slowly. Support the body. Yes. Blessings. Supplemental probiotic. Food alone can be enough. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. All right, I'm not going to take more questions, folks, because we're already over. So let me see what we've got to finish. Abida asks, raw organic milk, will heating it destroy all the good bacteria? How can it? Yes, heating it will destroy all the good bacteria. What else? Heating it over 105 or 110 Fahrenheit will destroy all the good bacteria. How long can it stay in the fridge if we don't heat it? 2 weeks, 2 months? I have the possibility of getting raw milk once a week. Perfect. Wow. 10 liters at a time. Pardon me. How do you make the best of it? You make it into yogurt. And you make it into kefir. Or you can also freeze it. Abida, I would freeze some of it if you can, and then culture. Freeze and then culture some of it now. That's a good idea. All right. I hope that's helpful. It's my sister who I'm convincing to do intro. Thanks for the advice. Good luck, Kathleen. All right. What should people with multiple sclerosis start on full GAPS is written in Blue Book. What should people with multiple sclerosis start on full GAPS? I don't know. You can start on full. You can start Start somewhere. Start somewhere, people. That's all you need to do. Start somewhere. Anywhere. Do something. It'll help. Okay. How do you culture from frozen dairy? You bring it back to room temperature and carry on. You're welcome. Eva's laughing at me. It's good. Or helpfully laughing with me. You're welcome, Abida. I hope that's helpful. How do you culture from frozen dairy? You just bring it to room temperature in the refrigerator or let it defrost in the fridge and then carry on. Okay, I'm going to take one more. We have been eating raw fermented garlic for acid. I don't know what that means. And parasites. Is this stage 2? Eva, so I just want to say that Dr. Natasha will usually say, Do the GAPS diet for a year or 2 years before you start attacking parasites or any other thing, because the body will bring itself to balance, and if it doesn't after that time, that's when you start doing something like that. Okay. Last question, because then I have to go teach the coaches. And I have to get ready to do that for 2 hours. Okay. Selena wants to know, coconut kefir has the same benefit as dairy kefir? No. My child is sensitive to casein on the food intolerance test. Selena, so everyone ready for this? Coconut kefir and coconut yogurt and anything that's not dairy does not have the same benefits as dairy. Period. Never will, never can. No calcium. No bioavailable calcium. So remember that what you want to do, Selena and everyone else, is if you have a sensitivity to casein, no problem. Do the dairy introduction protocol. Start with ghee, move to butter, cultured butter, move to, so ghee, butter, then you move to yogurt and sour cream, and then you move to kefir last. Very important to remember that coconut and almond and all this crazy stuff out there. Let's heal and seal the gut, folks. Heal and seal the gut. Then what happens? Then usually people can tolerate. I need water. Usually people can tolerate. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, that's what we've got, folks. We are going to go. If the parasites are so bad, you probably want to read the book Eva. I know I say this all the time, but everybody's got to read the book. But Dr. Natasha is pretty clear. I'm not sure how you know that the parasites are stealing all your nutrients. Any dysbiosis is going to have pathogenic microbes steal your nutrients, for sure. Work the diet, work the diet, work the diet. Work the diet, work the diet, work the diet. That's what we do. And if you need more specific help, get to a certified GAPS practitioner, even if it's for one session. Can be really helpful for people. All right, we are going to go now. Excellent, Donna. Great. All right, I will see everyone next week. We will be in the same GAPS time, same GAPS channel. I will see you all next week on Tuesday morning. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, take a deep breath. 3 deep breaths before eating. Why? So you can actually get into parasympathetic rest and digest state before you sit down and eat all that beautiful food that you just spent so much time and so much money sourcing and preparing with love. Right? Breathe. Breathe, everyone. Okay. Be well. Take good care of yourselves. And I will see you next week. Bye now. And next week we're going to talk about stage 3. Woohoo! Okay. Be well, everyone. See you then. Bye-bye.